What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to tell you how to make $10,000 in less than 1 week on Instagram if you're a consultant, coach, agency owner, or any type of info product based business that's on social media right now, right? And this is the same way that I did this for a few clients without posting any content, without spending $10,000 plus on ad spend, and without making a single third world country hire, any type of VA, nothing like that to do our outreach for us, right? And here are two client runs right here. We just onboarded about two clients like a week ago, and they already got started with the system and they already booked themselves some calls. They've already made money. This guy right here made 18,000 in 15 days on his new offer using this exact outreach method that I'm going to show you how to do completely for free in this video. And I hope they don't see this video because I'm going to be giving away all the sauce on how we actually did this for our clients right here, right? And again, we did this through a mass DM automation tool. And again, we don't have to post content doing this. We also don't have to spend money on ad spend, and we don't have to make a single third world country hire to do our outreach for us. It's absolutely massive, right? And the reason why this method is 10 times better than paid ads, because if you want 2,000 qualified leads to interact with you, or if you want to engage with 2,000 qualified leads and maybe potentially get them on a call, you have to spend thousands of dollars just to get those leads, right? But with this system, you can hyper target qualified leads, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. You can hyper target qualified leads, and then you can reach out to them and easily get them conversating with you, right? And I like to call this paid ads on crack because it literally is, right? And I'll show you a little bit of math. I have 5 different accounts that I run 50 DMs a day from me personally, but for my other clients, we usually have 10 to 15 accounts that do 50 DMs a day. But I'll even show you from a small amount of volume like this, we have 5 accounts that we do 50 DMs a day from, and we send over 3,500 DMs a week, right? And from those 3,500 DMs, we probably get maybe 350 responses, and we can get 35 book calls. This is all low numbers. I know these margins suck, but when you have volume, all the other metrics don't matter. And when you can scale that volume, you absolutely blow through the potential, right? And I think this way you literally can outvolume a terrible product and a terrible outreach script. But I'm going to be showing you how to craft a perfect DM sequence so you can get the best response rate possible, the best book rate possible, and start making money like my clients did right here in literal weeks. Now, there's 3 simple steps that we're going to go over that I'm going to show you exactly how to do to actually make this system work for us, right? And the first step is high quality lead generation. You see, you need leads that actually want your offer, and you want to be targeting leads that actually have money to invest into your offer, right? And the biggest mistake that I've seen from most people is they're reaching out to leads that don't want their product, and they're reaching out to brokes. They're reaching out to brokies, right? And you want to avoid doing that because you're just going to be wasting your time. You're going to be wasting other people's time. And you also want to have a very, very solid qualification process so you can weed out those people that really don't have money to invest into your offer and to get the best close rate possible, right? And I'll get into all of that later, right? And also, you want to be targeting warm leads. Anybody that's doing cold outreach, that is the absolute worst thing you can do, and you're genuinely a loser if you're doing cold outreach, right? It's like, why would you reach out to a cold prospect that doesn't want your offer, that doesn't need a solution solved for them? It just doesn't make sense. You want to be targeting warm people that are already in nurtured people's audiences, right? I know this is probably an old method, but you really do want to target people that are already in other people's audiences. And you want to target people that actively follow creators that are similar to you that also solve problems for them, because it's a highly likelihood that they'll be nurtured to solutions, right? And if you can come in and provide a better offer than your current market, right, it's going to be super, super easy for you to get clients. So you need to understand, do warm outreach and don't do cold outreach, because if you do that, you're a loser and you're not going to win, right? And the second step is actually having a very powerful DM sequence, right? And this allows you to maximize KPIs to get the most per lead, right? And it also allows you to create your own unique sequence to stand out, and allows you to have a steady funnel of people to get on calls. And you want to have the perfect DM sequence that can actually get people interested into your offer, that can actually educate people into your offer, and that can actually get them into that funnel, right? Because again, I did say that there's so much volume where a DM sequence could be trash, but you could still book calls. But obviously, you don't want that. You want to have a powerful DM sequence while also having that powerful volume. You want to mix quantity and quality, and you don't want to just have one, right? And also, step 3 is DM automation. Manually sending out DMs is the worst thing that you can do as far as leverage for your business. If you're out here spending 12 hours a day plus spamming outreach messages, individually from one account, you're an absolute loser, right? And if you want to win this game, you need to have high volume, because when you have high volume, you can test out different sequences, right? It can also allow quicker results than any other like a client acquisition system, right? Because when you're absolutely maximizing volume within a short period of time like this, I have a client that has 20 different accounts that he does 50 DMs from. So that is absolutely insane volume. And this is faster than any other client acquisition on the market. It's faster than paid ads. It's faster than making content. It's faster than anything you've ever seen, right? And what's actually needed to succeed in every single step, obviously, is first off, you need to have target lead scraping. You need to have a tool where you can actually scrape these targeted leads, so you're not just going down on Instagram or something and just copy and pasting leads into a spreadsheet. Because no, you want to have all of them on the list, and then you want to be able to actually filter out these leads so you can actually have a streamlined process of pre-qualified leads, right? And also you want to do lead pre-touching, and we're going to get into that later and why that's important. And as far as for the second step, stuff that help you succeed is you need good sales assets, you need good VSLs, and you need very, very good copywriting. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that in this video. I know it probably sounds like a whole lot, but it's really not that complicated to set up, and it really just requires some time, effort, and dedication, right? And another thing is you need a great personalized DM script that will actually make people want to listen to you and also speak to you. And I'm going to also show you how to craft the perfect DM script that can actually get those people and get that audience and get that attention that you want, right? Also, you need amazing offer positioning that brings your own unique angle to your market. You don't want to sound like everybody else. And even if your offer is the same as everybody else, the way you position it and the way that your copy is will literally create insane results for you, right? You could have the most bare bones suckish offer, but if you position it correctly and your copy is strong, then I promise you can get people interested in it, even if you have the same freaking SMMA like offer as everybody else, right? And the last step in DM automation, obviously you want to have an automation DM tool that can like, follow, unfollow, share, comment, and DM. And also you want to have multiple clone accounts, obviously, so that you can establish market omnipresence, right? Because you don't want to just be doing outreach from one account because you're very limited. You want to create that omnipresence and have multiple different accounts that you're doing outreach from. And these clone accounts are going to be accounts that are similar to yours. For instance, I will show you some of my clone accounts. The first one I have right here is Kev High Ticket, right? And all my accounts look the exact same. They have the same highlights. They have similar bios, but the username is kind of different, and there's subtle differences that make these different, but the same, obviously, right? I also have my main account. As you can see, the username change right here, the exact same setup, and you want to kind of create this kind of pattern a little bit where it's the same exact thing over and over again, except it's subtle differences, obviously, so your account just doesn't look bottish and Instagram's not going to detect it as bottish, right? And also what's going to allow you to succeed in DM automation is actually having that volume, and because that volume is so important for testing different sequences, testing different scripts, and allows you to automate for the best results possible. So right now we're actually going to get in everything, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can do each step and how I can put you in the best position to succeed. And this is not going to be a highly edited video, obviously, so if you have a very low attention span, you can't focus for more than 5 minutes, click off, right? Because I'm going to be going over some very boring but very important stuff to make this work for your business, obviously, right? The first step is lead generation. Generating the best leads is the most important step by far. And if your targeting sucks, if you're targeting people, again, that don't want your offer, that don't have money to invest, and that aren't warm, and you're doing cold outreach to these leads, you're just gonna fail, right? You don't want to do that at all. So instead, we want to target leads that obviously have buying power, they have a solution, and also leads that also want a solution that can be solved with an offer, and also warm leads that are already nurtured by another competitor. And you want to kind of steal from other people's audiences. You want to convert that traffic into your traffic, and that's the best steps that you want to take in order to make this work. And this process can be broken down to very simple to learn steps, right? Target lead scraping, lead filtering, and lead retouching. And we're going to get into all of that right now. First off, you want to find a way that you can actually scrape an infinite amount of leads so you never run out of qualified leads to actually reach out to. And I have two different methods for you. I have one that's paid and one that's free. Obviously, the paid one is going to be way more efficient, 10 times better, but it's going to be a little, it was not too expensive. $10, it's $10 a month. If you don't have $10 to invest into your business, what are you doing, right? And also have a free version. It's less, I guess you would say, it's lower quality, obviously, but it'll still work and it'll still get the job done, but not as efficiently as the paid way. And the first one I'm going to show you is actually a tool called Instant Data Scraper, and this is the tool that I first used when I started reaching out. It's very simple, it's very easy to learn, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works right now. You can buy, and it's literally free. You can get it from the Chrome store. You don't got to pay nothing. It's great, right? So essentially, how this works, I'm going to open it up for you. You have your interface right here, right? This is the best way that you can go about scraping leads, especially from Instagram and only from Instagram, right? This can obviously work on other sites, but right now we're going to focus on scraping and getting our leads from Instagram. So here's what I like to do. You kind of don't want to go for people that have a check mark, because when people that are verified, right, you can't really view their followers and it's going to be really, really limited. So what I like to do is you need to find somebody that's in your market or somebody that's in your niche of people that you're looking for. For instance, if you're an agency owner that helps fitness coaches, then you want to go and find a fitness coach and you want to go through his follower list. For instance, I can demonstrate you right here. This guy named Corey, I just found it, came across him. This is exactly how it worked, right? He's not verified. You can view every single follower. You can you can literally just go through it, right? But how this tool works, you want to open up the followers list and you want to open up the tool right here. And as you can see, it'll start highlighting this exact element right here, and then actually will start collecting leads. And the way it works is you want to make sure this little red border, this red outline is within the follower box. And from there, you want to obviously, if it's not in there, you can adjust the table and it can move around. Sometimes it'll be a little wonky, but you kind of want to just keep refreshing if it doesn't work. And you want to make sure infinite scroll is on, because this is actually what will automatically keep scrolling, so you don't have to keep swiping, keep swiping. So make sure that's open, right? And from there, you want to play around with the delay. The delay doesn't really matter, obviously, because we're not doing any type of parsing. But what I like to do is I like to eliminate this column, and I want to lead the links for their profile, their username, and their, I guess you could say, their display name, right? And also you can lead, maybe sometimes it will display right here if the account is verified or not, but it doesn't matter. You want to make sure these three right here are there, and you actually want to press start crawling, right? And it'll start crawling, and obviously for some reason it's glitching, it's not going to find a scroll bar. If it does that, you can just literally just swipe through this yourself. And as you can see, it's collecting literally every single lead on the list, and it is so good, right? There you go. As you can see, it's going to scroll by itself, and depending on the delay is how fast it'll actually start scrolling and crawling, I guess you could say. And from there, you can either download it to CSV, download as an XSLX, or you can copy it. What I do is I just copy. And from there, once you have it copied, you can go ahead and open up a spreadsheet. And you literally just want to paste and slap the leads on there. And that is the first method on how you can acquire leads, right? The second method is obviously better, and it's using a paid version. This exact tool that I use right here is $9 a month. And essentially how it works is you would take an Instagram URL, right? You would take it and you would put it in the IG user slash URL bar right here. I already have it running, so I'm just going to pause it really quickly. And you can literally put in any Instagram account. It doesn't matter if they're verified. It doesn't matter if they're not verified. This will still scrape and parse every single follower, right? And essentially the idea is, again, you want to be going for people that are similar to your niche, because you'll find the likelihood of finding other people that match them. For instance, if you're looking for fitness coaches tend to follow other fitness coaches, so it's really, really simple. It's a really easy process. Or if you're an agency owner, finding accounts like I guess you could say this guy right here, Johnny Mouth, you know who he is. People that make offers for agency owners, they tend to have followers of agency owners. So it's a very, very simple, I guess you could say, easy to understand pattern that you want to find here, right? And the way this works is you have different like extracting types, right? Obviously, we're going to be scraping followers because that's way bigger than scraping somebody's following, right? Somebody's following is going to be way smaller than their followers, right? And how this works is I don't use detail because it's going to take way, way longer to parse, but you can flick that off if you want a more quicker loading time. And also make sure you play with the delay, because if you do have the delay too low, your Instagram will like detect spam account, and will detect automation software on your account, and they will limit your account. So you have to be very, very careful. And I keep a longer, bigger delay right here. I do 25 seconds. And if you will just want to press start parsing, it will start grabbing the profiles from each Instagram. And when it's done, you can go over to the little preview section here, and you can look at all the lists. You can look at all the leads right here. And then when you go to the history bar, you can download the CSV file right here. You can download the Excel file. And what I like to do is I like to download it. What I do is go back to my spreadsheet file, and I press open, and then I go to my search, obviously, and then I just open it from there. And just like that, I have it open. And again, it has the most important stuff that I'm looking for, which is the link, the username, and then their profile, their display name, right? And also what I like to do is I like to filter out like verified, because I only like to target verified accounts because it's easier to actually get a response from them. So what you can do here is you can press switch sheet Z to A, and it'll show you all the ones that say yes. But if it doesn't, then you can obviously do all the ones that say that says A to Z, right? So What I like to do is I just like to delete this column. I like to delete this column. I also like to delete this column because it's just going to show the profile picture. And I like to move this around right here and try to make things more even, right? And from here, this is what I do. I move this from this sheet and I slap this towards my inbound sheet right here, right? And the reason I do this is because this is where we can actually start the next step, which is lead filtering. And lead filtering is very necessary to make sure we only have qualified leads or targeted leads that we're actually reaching out to. So we're not reaching out to some random Facebook mom, right? Because we don't obviously want to reach out to every single person in their following list. We want to reach out to the people in their following list that match our prerequisites. For instance, I'm an agency that finds consultants, business owners, whatever, right? So this is exactly how you can actually start filtering these leads a little bit. And I know messing with spreadsheets, if you're not new to it, it's a little tricky, but it's not too hard to understand. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it right now. So once you have your list right here, you have an entire leads right here. You have thousands and thousands of leads. Usually would have thousands, but I only have a few hundred right now. But what you want to do is you just want to press Control All, Command All, or you can just press the little thing right here at the top left to highlight every single cell. And what you want to do is you want to press Format and press Conditional Format. And what you want to do from here is you want to click where it says Add New Rule, and this is where you can actually start doing the filtering. Now for your format rules, you're going to put text contains. And now from here, for instance, if you're looking for fitness coaches, then you would put fitness coach here. Fitness coach, right? And the idea is, see, it would only highlight specific keywords, or it would only highlight the fitness coach. And again, you can just keep adding more and more to this again. You want to make it one color so it's easier to actually sort through it. So for instance, another one is if you want to look for people or any account that says online. And the reason why I said you want to make it so you have the link, the username, and the display name, because people tend to put in their display name exactly what it is that they do, and that's the easiest way to actually filter out through these leads. But if you're using a free tool, but if you're using that paid tool that I use right here, you can actually see if the account is verified or not. And usually what tends to happen, if like I showed you earlier, when you sort the verified check, when you sort the little verified thing, only the verified accounts tend to be the accounts of the people that you want to reach out to. This is obviously niche dependent. For me personally, when I sort throughout the verified people, I only reach out to verified people, right? But sometimes I tend to find people that aren't in my niche. But if you're looking for fitness coaches, checking the verified tab, it usually isn't the best idea, because almost every single fitness coach has the little tag name right here. And for instance, if you find someone that's verified, usually they're not going to have what they actually do in their bio, depending on the niche, right? So that's just a little tip, and that's just a little thing that you can look out for. But the way that you actually sort this is, again, you want to press this little thing in the top left, and you want to press the three lines right here, and you want to press this little icon right here, create a filter, right? And from here, what you can do is you can actually start to sort out the specific leads that you filtered from here. And see, as you can see, it filter out every single lead that you're actually looking for, and you can delete every single lead that doesn't match your prerequisites right there. And then boom, you have your list of qualified leads, just like that. It's a very simple, understandable process, but doing that is so important, right? And now the next step, which is our lead pre-touching. And lead pre-touching is probably the single biggest factor to increase your open rate. And the idea is that after you filter and generate these leads, and also after you have an entire list of warm prep leads to actually deal with, now you want to introduce yourself to this person in the most genuine, most non-salesy way possible, right? And you don't really want to outreach this person just yet, but instead you want to do all these things first, which is follow, like all the stories, and comment on their latest post. And the reason why I say this is the most simple, but I guess the biggest factor that actually improved my open rate over time. Doing this is going to create and establish that trust, and it's going to break that barrier. And doing that will also get their attention. So when you actually send the DM later on, it's going to be really, really simple for them to actually open that, because you're already a person that engaged with them. Some people usually like to do this 2 days before they actually outreach the person. For me personally, I do it instantly, right? I do it all at once. But you don't want to be lazy with your outreach, or you're just going to be ignored like everybody else. So doing these things like following them, liking their stories, and also commenting on their posts, commenting on their stories, and doing anything you can to get that person maybe to follow you back. Because when you're actually followed back, that's the best key indicator to show that you actually built trust with that person, and now you guys are mutuals, right? And that's essentially what you want to do before you outreach, but you don't always have to. But doing that could be the biggest factor in actually improving that open rate, right? And again, you can automate that entire process. You can automate follows, liking a story, commenting on letting post, and I'll show you a specific software later on that can actually do that for you automatically, so you don't have to sit here and do it manually, right? And now that was the first step, which is actually generating these leads, filtering these leads, and doing the pre-traffic touch points. And as you can see here, the next step is actually our winning DM sequence. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can build the best DM sequence possible that can actually get people on calls with you, that can actually make you stand out in the inbox, and that can actually get you that open rate that you want and that you desire. Also, I'm going to show you how to bring your own unique positioning and angle to the market so you can actually stand out, even if you have the same, I guess you could say, style or offer as everybody else, and obviously a great personalized DM script that makes people want to listen with you and speak with you. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that. Now, this is actually how I crafted the perfect DM sequence that literally tripled my open rate, response rate, and booking rate. And this can be broken down into a very, very simple funnel. The first step is the opener, the second step is the pre-selling, and the third step is actually getting the people on the call. And this is what the entire DM sequence funnel would look like. So I'm going to show you this very, very simple mock DM script that I made, and this is essentially how you want it to be framed. It's very simple, it's very quick and straight to the point. It doesn't waste too much time, and it doesn't like make your prospects lose interest, because people's attention span are absolutely cooked, right? People are getting pitched day in and day out, so you want to make it as strong but as short as possible. So first off, in the first step in the DM sequence, this is the most important step, because if people don't open your DM, then nothing else that you do after that actually matters, my brother. But this is exactly how you want to do it. You want a strong opener that people actually care about, right? And you want to build interest within that first outreach, right? And you want to also, within that opener, you want to bring your own UVP or your unique value proposition, and you also want to deliver your solution in a way that gives a breath of fresh air to your prospect, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be the only person pitching the same type of offer. So when you position it differently, and I'll show you exactly how to do that, you can bring a breath of fresh air to your prospect. And this is what will get people to open your DM, because it'll build curiosity. It'll build everything else that's important to actually get people interested enough into you and your offer, right? Now I'm going to give you a specific script, because this is really going to vary from niche to niche, right? But I'm going to give you the best way that you can actually frame your own opener, because obviously I'm not going to be like everybody else and tell you to say, hey John, just was one. No, I'm not going to say to do that. I'm going to actually give you the perfect, I guess you could say, foundation to make the best DM script possible. But ideally, what I do is just very simple. I don't really need an entire breakdown for this, but it's so simple. All you want to do is just frame it as the opener. And the opener is just basically what your offer is. The second part is your UVP or your unique value proposition. And the final part is the call to action. The top part that I did, or the top, I guess you could say, for my sequence, for my opener, I just simply said I crafted a client acquisition system, right? That's the opener. That lets my prospect know exactly what it is that I'm reaching out to educate them on, right? It's so simple. All you want to do is just have just a good opener. And what you don't want to do is what I see that a lot of people do is you don't want to put something like hey, or put something like hi, comma, or put something like what's going on, comma. It's like when people see that, especially when I see that in my own DMs, I skip over it. I don't want to see that. Everybody else is doing it. You want to be the person that's going to be direct and straight to the point, and also doing what I mentioned before by doing those pre-traffic touch points and actually being patient, following, liking, and commenting on their letting post. Then this part doesn't really matter, because this person is already within, I guess you could say, your network. So it's easier to actually connect with them, right? And you can be more simple, you can be more conversational, be like, hey, John, what's going on, right? But if you're reaching out to a prospect that doesn't know you, you've done all the touch points and stuff, and they haven't actually followed you back or engaged with you back at all, then this is how you want to craft it. You want to be very direct and say, basically, I just crafted a client acquisition system that's quicker than paid ads, right? And that quicker than paid ad part is where we get into the next part, which is the UVP, or the unique value proposition. You see, what separates my product from everybody else's product on the market is that it's quicker than paid ads, it's less burning than content, and it's 10 times better than hiring overseas VAs, right? And obviously, your unique value proposition is going to vary from your offer, right? So this is why I say that important copy and that important positioning to the market is actually important for you. And you want to kind of find a way that you can repackage your offer. For instance, if you're an appointment setter, instead of saying you're an appointment setter, you could say something like, I'm a high speed, high volume DM DM set it, right? You can put something like that. This really just depends on what your niche is. And for our clients, what we do is we craft the perfect opener by just blasting volume and seeing which work the best, right? Obviously, volume is the key, and volume is the key to everything, right? But that opener, you just want to be very direct, and you want to bring a breath of fresh air to your prospect by creating that by adding that UVP, by creating that unique value proposition, by creating that unique positioning to the market. And that's really going to be dependent on you, right? Obviously, I don't know everybody's product or offer, but you want to make your offer sound as different from anybody else as possible, and that's the key to copywriting, right? That's the key to making good copy. And also, you don't want to be too complex with it. You don't want to say something like, "I'm a high intentful client crafter chauvinist." It's like, no, you want to make it very simple and easy to understand. Like, what I basically do is I just bring more clients easier. But there's so many different ways that you can play with that. But essentially, you just want to have an opener that's straight to the point, brings that unique value proposition, also brings that unique angle to your market, right? And that's the UVP. And the last step is a strong call to action. All I said is mind if I share, because this is just going to create curiosity because he doesn't know what I'm sending. I could be sending a VSL, I could be sending a voice note, but you just want to put mind if I share. And this is important because you don't want the first message, you don't want the opener to be the actual pitch. You just want to actually get your foot in the door, and you want the response. So this is why you craft it that way. And usually the most common response I get is sure, or send it over, or shoot. And this is exactly what you want to shoot for, and it's exactly what you want to get out of your outreach, right? The second part is pre-selling, and this is actually building a strong VSL that does 90% of the selling and heavy lifting. And this is one of the best and most powerful, crucial moves for having the highest conversion rate possible. And the reason why I say this is because having a VSL that educates the person on your offer, gives free value, but also sells your offer too is so powerful. And if you didn't notice, this video is an entire VSL as well. And what you want to do is you just want to basically provide as much value as possible. You don't even have to do that, right? Most people, they usually just in a 30-second video of themselves basically saying what their offer is, and then calling and making a call to action at the end of the video, basically saying, let's hop on a call so I can explain this process more in depth to you. And you can totally do that, and I will actually show you an example of that. For instance, you can make a very, very simple talking head video. If you know who this guy is, props to you, but it's so simple. You just want to film a 30-second video, but just basically explaining your offer. And the best way that you can script this offer, obviously, is the hook, your unique value proposition, identifying the current solution that your prospect might have, the solution to that problem, and then the call to action to get the people actually on the call to actually learn more about your actual product, your offer, or whatever strategy is that you have, right? And that's just essentially what you want to do. What most people tend to do, which is how I'm doing it in this video, is actually showing the prospect exactly how it is that they can actually do something themselves, and then providing your own unique solution that's 10 times way better than the free solution, right? And the way that most people tend to do this is by making a long form video that's just like this, basically explaining a solution or solving a problem, right? And the best way to come with these VSLs is just basically taking your deliverables and making an in-depth video based around it. I know this is obviously a more advanced thing to do, but for my clients personally, we will script out the entire video, we will create the presentation, and we will have our clients actually film them. And from there, you can literally make it once, and then you can distribute it to your outreach an infinite amount of times. For instance, if you know who Nick Setting is, his content is full of sales assets, and it's literally videos that you can make one time, and it's in-depth solving solution, and then you can distribute it an infinite amount of times, right? But obviously, most people aren't creators, and they don't have time to do stuff like this. So doing the original method of just making a VSL or a video, very, very short video, just breaking down your solution will also suffice, right? And that's the second part, pre-selling. But when you're making a sales asset that will actually do more of the pre-selling for you, and it will eliminate the heavy lifting, versus making the VSL just more of a simple route, but you're going to have to do more selling on the call, which shouldn't be too bad, right? And the final step in this DM sequence is actually booking a call and pivoting the conversation to get that prospect on the call. And this is a very simple, but it's kind of a tricky step to cover, right? Because a lot of the times people tend to ghost, but the way that we counter that is by having opener follow-ups, sales asset follow-ups, and calendar sent follow-ups, right? You want to have follow-ups for every single part of the sequence. For instance, if somebody doesn't respond to your opener, you want to follow up a gazillion times, right? Follow-ups is the king. I'm pretty sure follow-ups is what built my business and what built my clients' business, right? Most of the times people are going to forget. They could go under the radar. It's not because you're boring or your offer sucks, but sometimes people just forget. People get busy. So you want to keep giving those nudges until they respond. And especially if you get to this point where you see the calendar link and you don't have any notification, you want to have your calendar sent follow-ups, right? You want to actually follow up and maybe say, might have something crazy for you, bro. Let's have a call soon. If they don't follow for, you can still with me, bro. I emoji. What time would be best for you, brother? And you want to play around with this, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You just want to kind of nudge a little bit. You want to kind of nudge each time to actually bring that attention back, because again, people will forget. And that right there is a very, very simple breakdown of this DM sequence and how you can craft the perfect bulletproof sequence that will never fail in booking you calls. Obviously, too, what I'm going to mix with this as well is actually being able to automate this DM sequence, because the biggest thing that will help you is actually having that volume so you can test different DM sequences, so you can test different openers, so you can test different VSLs. Having that volume is so important because feedback is what will make you better, obviously, right? So now we're going to get into the last step, and that's what's going to pivot us into this last step, which is actually automating outreach. And if you're someone who's sitting again for 12 hours a day, sending dozens of DMs from one account, you're an absolute loser, right? And you need to have that volume. You need that leverage if you want outreach to work for you. And you need multiple accounts that you can send outreaches from. You need multiple accounts that can automatically follow, send outreaches, engage with accounts, follow up automatically. And on top of that, you need to be tracking every single piece of data and every single outreach that you send. And I have absolutely two insane methods to do that without lifting a finger, obviously, right? The first tool is not going to be able to track these for you. You're still going to have to track yourself, but the IG Super Booster bot will actually do what I was talking about before. And if you want this bot, then DM me on Instagram and I'll send it to you. But essentially how this bot works is after you have your lead list that you built earlier, you can easily plug it into this bot. I'm pretty sure this bot is around, I think, $9 a month. It's not too expensive, right? But essentially what you can do in this bot, you can copy and paste all your leads and put it right here. You can press bulk edit and slap all your leads into here. And from here, you can follow, unfollow, you can DM, you can like, and you can comment. And for instance, you can follow, you can also customize your DMs right here. You can actually edit the actual DM message. So this can automatically send the DMs. And you can also adjust the interval range. And you want to really test this because, again, if you don't mess with the delays correctly, you will get your account flagged and banned, right? So they have a bunch of settings right here that can actually prevent that. And again, you can automatically do everything. You can do all the pre-traffic touch points like this. You can comment, you can like somebody's posts, you can unfollow somebody, you can follow somebody, you can do all that stuff using this bot, right? And the second method that I have here is the method I've been using for my exact specific clients to get them the craziest results, right? And that is using this absolute massive DM automation sequence that I've built out, right? The thing that makes this better than the DM Super Booster bot is that it will literally track every single important KPI automatically on the sheet for you. For instance, in my specific sheet, I have a bunch of qualifications set up. In my specific bot right here, I literally have all these qualifications set up to make sure I'm targeting the right leads, to make sure I'm not highlighting the same leads, right? And this right here literally just tracks everything. It tracks the data I sent it from. It tracks the date I sent it from. It tracks if the person responded. It tracks all the follow-ups. It literally tracks everything that you can ever love. And from here, you can actually track every single thing a month. As you can see, this month I've sent 1,400 DMs. I don't know why I said 1,400. I've sent way more than that, right? But essentially, this spreadsheet is set up to the automation sequence. The automation sequence is absolutely packed. All this stuff is different code that actually sends outreach. It sends custom personalized messages to specific accounts. It does all the pre-traffic touchpoints that we talked about earlier to get people interested in us before we send out the outreach. It's just absolutely crazy. And on top of that, again, it tracks all your important KPIs, because I feel like the KPIs in that data is the most important thing to actually help you succeed. And again, I don't know if this is not updated or something. I have way more book calls and everything. But essentially, this is how it will work. You can track every single account that you have doing outreach from here. And this is something that's only accessible from working with us. So if you want something like this for your business, if you don't feel like doing that, all the freaking KPI stuff, tracking everything on your own, if you want a more streamlined, automated process, then DM me on Instagram and I can show you exactly how this works step by step, right? And this right here is really what's been booking me a lot of calls recently, what's been getting me in crazy response rates, and what's allowed me to scale other prospects to 10 figures a month, literally within 2 weeks. So if this is something that you want for your business, then DM me on Instagram and I can show you exactly how this specific bot works and how we can implement it for your business, right? And automating this process is so important, and actually having that automation that can actually track your KPIs for you as well is so good and is so beneficial for your business. And actually, I do have a video that actually shows you how you can warm up fresh accounts so you can actually start to scale your outreach, right? So if you want to learn how you can actually warm up fresh accounts, I have another video on my channel as well that tells you step by step how to do that, right? And again, if you want to improve your sequence, you need that volume, because without the volume, you aren't going to get the feedback you need to actually make the best like sequence for your outreach, right? And another thing, if people respond but ghost you, that it's because of one of three things, right? It's because your VSO sucked, it's because your offer sucked, or it's because you didn't build enough trust and curiosity. But understand all these issues are easily fixable with volume and data. Also, working with the right team will put you in the exact position so you don't have to spend months on end learning how to do all this yourself. So I thank you for actually getting through this video. And if you found a lot of value from this video, you're going to start doing outreach as soon as possible. Props to you. And again, if you want a team to implement every single thing that we talked about in here, if you want a team to implement this crazy DM sequence, you want a team to do everything for you. Hire the setters, hire every single thing that you need to make your business succeed. Then DM me on Instagram. I can show you exactly how everything works and how we can get you up and running from day one. If I sent this video personally to you, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're interested into that software I was talking about, and we can hop on a call as soon as possible and I can break down everything for you, right? But if you don't care about all that, I hope you found value in this video, and I hope you start scaling your outreach as soon as possible, because again, it's better than paid ads, right? You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to find targeted leads that probably aren't even interested into you at all, right? And it's also better than hiring any VA. It's also better and less time consuming than making content. And it also will give you the quickest return on investment. Like my clients right here, 18K in 15 days, absolutely crazy. And this guy right here that booked 2 calls in literally the first week. It's like, why wouldn't you do outreach, right? If you think outreach sucks, then you suck. I'm sorry, but but if you want to work with me, make sure you reach out to me on Instagram below. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll have more stuff like this. I have a bunch of videos like this on my page, and I will see you all in the next one.